Om Gam Ganapate Namaha, Gurubhyo
Nam
Namaha.
Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste everyone and welcome to the Spake Satguru Sivananda. We have been doing these sessions taking quotes from Guru Garu and discussing about the quote. Nana has been giving explanation of about the quotes and also giving the context. We have been having these sessions on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. But this week, we will be doing only on Friday and Saturday, that is today and tomorrow. I will share the quote and then we can take it forward. 1 second. Reach that place within you, which is there in every living creature, living human being. It is there. The voice of Brahma can be heard from there. Voice of Brahman is the voice of the ultimate. Nana, over to you.
Namaste, everyone. We have a very serious quote today. It has a direct relation with our earlier quotes, which we have discussed about the evolution of the Brahmanda and also about the man and his evolution and soul's evolution, and also about the gods and goddesses, numerous gods and goddesses. And we thought that these names are only given by us for our convenience sake with regard to their characteristics, their energies, and also the purposes, and according to our needs. So this understanding Guruji has given us in the last episodes. So the present episode coming direct to us. Otherwise, we were hovering about the sky, about the beyond the Brahmanda, and also within the Brahmanda, and so many other things. But now it is coming to you, to me directly. There was one reference when the Brahmanda emerged by itself with or without a help or any other reasoning. So we had some discussion on that. So we had taken one view where there was some energy or jnana shakti samarodha. Both have merged. So that kind of something should have been existing before Brahmanda. So what we heard is that Shakti, you can call it Parabrahmam or Brahmam or Sadashiva Brahmam or Kameshwara, Midhunam, or Shiva, Vishnu, and all these, the entire system, divine system, has also come into the Brahmanda. And we have seen that God is descending in various forms to help us. So this was our understanding in the earlier episodes. With regard to this, I would also say that a friend of us has also commented on this, about the Parabrahman and also Krishna as Brahman and all that. So there are so many views about that. The problem here is some are vouchsafed by the ancient literature, like Vedic literature or Shastras or Upanishads. But most of the understanding has come to us from that Atman, that super Atman, which could also speak to us. And Guruji says that, Guru doesn't exist outside. He exists within you. The only thing, the problem with us is whether we are talking or Guru is talking for us. We don't know. This is the confusion that we have. So who is there? This Guru, how, where does he stay? Where does he live? Where does he sit or talk to us? In what language he talks to us? We have languages. But does Guru has a language by himself? So this is one major problem, that many, what you call the jnanis and the sadhus, have their own path. They have emerged themselves, and they have also prescribed the paths that were known to them, that were through which they had succeeded. So all gurus, maybe their understanding may be one about the ultimate, but their explicit idea about that supreme may be different. That's why we say the truth is only one, but it is explained to us through many ways by those who have realized it. So Buddha's approach may be different, and Mahavira's approach may be different. So many sages have different, even modern gurus, their understanding may be different. So most of them, they would like to communicate with their disciples of that generation. So what we understand about the scriptures, this understanding, this was appealing to that kind of generation which was there at the time. But our generation is changing. That's why from the time we are getting gurus, and through gurus we are getting the knowledge, the jnana. And they will choose what is suitable to us, where we can follow them, where we can understand it. So that way, the present quote here, we have come to the basic question. As to, there are certain important points there. The first thing is about the living and non-living things, and about the creatures and the human beings. There is a distinction, a nice distinction is there. For this, we had in the earlier quote on the Brahmandas, where we are told that this Atman, whatever, because we are giving a comfortable name to it, and all the names of the gods and goddesses and everything, all these names are only given names, given by the human beings. That may be a energy, or that may be a jnana, whatever it may be, but that is given different names by different human beings, different saints, those who have understood that in that way. So similarly here, there is, where does this Atma lives, or the soul lives? In the first quote, we have seen that soul is there for animate and also inanimate things. And we said the soul is emerging, evolving by itself, as Brahmanda has emerged from some matter or non-matter. So the soul is also emerging from this matter. And Brahmanda the matter is also changing. The formation, it is taking different formations. And the energy is coming through 5, what we call the forces, Agni, Vayu, and all that. So these things are coming up from where? From only one source. Similarly, when Atma is also there, or we call it Paramatma or Atma, whatever it may be, capital S or small s, whatever it may be. So for our convenience, say what the soul we have is not a capital S, a small s. And what we speak of that Paramatma or authority or supreme, we give him a capital S, only for the distinction's sake. But Guruji says, this soul in you, in me, and everywhere is the same. They are equal. There is nothing a greater soul in a particular sage, or there is nothing a smaller soul in a small creature. Everything is samyam, samam. It is equal. So we share the same Atman, the same energy, the same Shakti equally. But the problem with us is we do not know about it. So that is also one major problem. We come to it in the subsequent quotes. So here, the soul, where should the soul is a matter or a non-matter? If it is within me, where should it stay? Where does it stay? What is its abode? Because whenever we say that there is a thing that occupies a space, so that space, where is that space? How that space is? Generally, we liberally say, it is my heart. It is in my heart. Which heart? This heart, which is pumping blood? Or what kind of heart was there? So this heart may work for some time and may also stop working. Then if such is the case, does the soul die along with the heart, the physical heart? So here there is some space which is not physical, that blank space or dot. Space means it may not be having proportions. Even a dot could have been there to the right of your heart, which is in the left. So it is in the right, towards a bit right chest. You have this recess. So every prani, every creature, or if you take the question case of inanimate things, there of course we may not be able to identify a space for that. But here, in all creatures, there is a space. But he mentions another name, distinction. All creatures and living human beings. He said, if he is not a living human being, he is a dead matter. It's only matter, a dead matter. So there the soul doesn't stay. When soul goes out of the body, so then the body doesn't have the soul. So he mentions living human being and also living creatures. So living creatures have a space for the soul, and also the human beings also have a space for its soul. So the problem is with the living creatures, they do not have this kind of intellect to inquire about it, at least to know the existence of it. Even we think that we are great intellectuals, but we are not able to see that space in our chest, in that recess in our chest, that dot in our chest. We are also not able to know it, but we are having the benefit of the experience of those who stand before us, and those who guide us, and those who also exhibit it to us, and those who take us to that point. So that is the advantage of human beings. That's why we always say that the life of a human being is a very precious one. It's not possible in any other way. So he space living creatures and living human being. This is the most important thing. So this living human being has that small space. Whether it is small space, whether we can calculate the space or measure the space, that we don't know. We can't know. So that small space is there, and there, if you could concentrate into it, Guruji has written for us a wonderful book as Katha Yoga. This Katha Yoga deals with this. If one can be able to read it, in this Katha Yoga it is said that there is some space there, that is the inner recess, which you may call heart or whatever name you give it. But that blank space is something like a guha, like a cave. It's something like a cave entry. And the thing is that your consciousness should enter into that cave. That cave in the beginning is quite dark, as we thought of about the non-matter in the first episode. So this I don't know, this is a very thick, dark thing. whether it is space or matter or non-matter, that kind of thing would be there in that guha. This generally we say as Hrudaya Guha. Hrudaya Guha. Hrudaya means the center. We can understand, give that meaning to that. Center. At the center of this, there is a small black spot. That spot cannot be seen through these eyes. That can be reached only through our sixth sense, internal eye. For that, we have to make so many practices. So, if you could enter into that guha and go, we don't know how many years or how many hours or how many minutes or how many seconds it may take. But if you enter into it, there you may get a ray of light. So this is all a yogic experience. Because after knowing this only, we are discussing this as information. It's not for practice. One should not try for this, because these things cannot be achieved without a guru, a qualified guru, a realized soul as guru. If you can find him externally, only through him, you have to take the training, you should go enter. Then, of course, you say the whole Brahmandas and Brahmandas, after some time, you may be able to see. So he says, there you can hear. What can you hear? The Brahman. What is the sound of Brahman? We don't know. Is Brahman a person? No. It is a phenomena that we cannot understand. So how can you think that the Brahman is there? So generally, there are so many methods, because Brahman, we cannot identify him or we cannot find him. So we take our own Ishtadeva, its form within the heart, and watch him. There's so many things, because all these things are yogic exercises. So with that yogic exercises, you can enter into Hridaya Guha, go into the center of your heart, and find what exactly is there. So he says that is the ultimate. If you are reaching Brahman, because we think that Brahman is the final. If Brahman is final, that is the ultimate if you reach there. Or if you find a guru, if you reach him, that is also final, because guru is Brahman itself, a form of Brahman. Suppose if you have a Vishnu or a Krishna, whatever it may be, goddess, or any goddess, Amavaru, whatever it may be. If you take that image within your heart and concentrate on this, I think you will be reaching ultimate Brahman. So this Brahman, inexplicable Brahman, how can you identify that you could come to Brahman? So that is only through the nada. So that nada, the voice, Guruji says, voice of Brahman could reach you to experience. May not be his shape, his image, but his voice could be reached. That you can understand in your own way. Generally, there are the various schools say so many things about that. And we have very traditionally known voices are there. One is Brahmaranada. Brahmaranada is there. So if you remember about Sri Shailam, when you go to Amavaru there, Brahmarambika, she is known as Brahmarambika. Brahmarambika, if you could realize her, that Brahmaranada will be ringing in your ears, not these physical ears, the mental ears. So Sushma, ear, that would be able to hear that voice. How is Brahmaranada? I don't know, but I'm only telling you what I have heard. Brahmaranada is like a honey bee, which goes round you and gives you the sound. That is Brahmaranada. So it was a continuous slow sound with vibrations. So that would take you into that mode And after some time, you may not be able to, you may not be, there was no need for your any Brahmanada, and you can straight mingle or merge yourself with the Amovar. So this is one way of approaching. The another way, very popularly known, is the Pranavanada. Pranavanada is there. Pranavanada is Omkar. And there is a subtle difference between these two. Brahmanada is energetic and continuous. There is no break in the Brahmanada. It goes on continuously giving the voice. And Pranavanada, Guruji says that it has 3 matras. As we say, Om consists of Hema. Om consists of Om.
A, Hu, Ma.
Ma. So we should come to about the description of Om later, but here 3 matras are there. So in these 3 matras, Om, Om, Om. So that has to end short with the 3 matras, and it should end, and then another Omkaram would come. Brahmanada is a continuous voice, but Om is giving some periodical, what you call the spaces between one Omkara and the other Omkara. So all these could be heard at the heart center, or the Hrudaya Guha, what we meant. And that is possible only when you go in. And when you pass through so many hurdles, because it's complete pitch dark. How long you wait, how long you think of your Guru, how long you think of Pranamam or Brahma, or whether you call it Brahma or Guru or Krishna or whatever it may be. That is your choice. So you have the freedom to think about it. So this is a very highest understanding about the yogic experiences. And we are normally, commonly, we are not supposed to experiment these things by ourselves. And because there is one major disqualification for all of us is we cannot go to the ultimate point immediately. So one has to pass through infant, primary classes, secondary classes, high schools, colleges, and then reach PhD and postdoctoral. This is we are speaking of the postdoctoral. And we should not jump into that class and sit there. If you sit there, you may fall back. That's what Guruji says. It is yogic brashtatvam. There is a fall for the yogi. Even if you go gradually, it's okay. But if you try to jump one step further, then you may fall and break your legs. So that kind of efforts should not be made unless you have sufficient training and you have a constant guiding. So these things are very serious things. And when Guruji has said this only just for our information, because many of us, intellectuals asking so many questions. Is there anything, or is there that? How do you know about this? And such questions, irresponsible questions will also be coming. So just for information, because these are the steps are there for which you have to take care, and you have to go step by step gradually. And if there is anybody who can lift you by his hand, I think you can take the advantage. So these are the things which are very important to us, and we should be very careful in understanding this. So I think this is a very in-depth subject, and into the yogic practices, we better stop here and brood about that. Think about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you so much. We were one of the lucky ones. We went to Sri Shailam with Guru Garu. And I remember as a child when Guru Garu showed us, we did the parikrama, pradakshina of the temple, and then to one spot. He took us to one spot that we never knew existed. And then he closed his eyes for a second, and then he put his ear there. And then he asked me and others to come, and, I was a very small child. You had to pick me up to listen to the Brahmaranada. And we were lucky ones. We were able to hear the Brahmaranada that day, and we went again and again, to hear it again and again, because that was something very yes. So we went again and again, and people who were in the temple were like, even the priests who have been working whole their life there didn't know that Brahmaranada existed. Although there was a sign saying you can hear Brahmaranada somewhere, but then they didn't know exactly where and how to. And the people who were present, they were not disciples of Guru Garu, but then they were excited to see our excitement. So they went and heard. They could also hear. We have been to Sri Shailam and again later on, but then no, we couldn't hear it. We tried. We knew the spot. We did go to the spot, but no. But I still remember the Brahmaranada that I heard as a child, and all I have to do is just close my eyes, go back to it, and I can still hear it. Hear it in the sense, not hear it, but that experience of hearing it is what stayed with me.
Memory
of it. Not actually, that was really a very great experience. And thank you for bringing that memory back. Thank you so much for explaining about Om and also Brahmaranada and Brahman, and explaining the quote to us, Nana. Really appreciate. At this point, I would like to say thank you to everyone who have joined today. But if you have any questions regarding what was spoken,
there are messages.
Can you share some pictures if you have any?
12 Jyotirlingas and 18 Shaktipeethas.
Yeah.
We have 18 Shaktipeethas and 12 Jyotirlingas.
Okay.
Everywhere, these are spread. 18 Jyotirlingas, 12 Jyotirlingas are spread separately, and Shaktipeethas are also spread separately, all 18. But here we have Shaktipeetha and Jyotirlinga together.
Together. Okay.
That is the speciality of Sri Shailam. Where we can also refer to Kameshwara, Kameshwari, Mithunam. So that is possible. In fact, that is the center of all this. We consider that Shaktipeethas are differently placed and Jyotirlingas are differently placed, but here both are together. So that gives you an additional advantage by visiting this place.
Yeah,
it's
where was it?
Shape.
It's in Andhra Pradesh. Yes,
okay.
I will share you the details later on.
Yeah, no rush.
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining today.
Thank you. Namaste to all.
Bye everyone. Namaste.